Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Wednesday, the 28th day of August, 2024. I hope you're safe and healthy today, that your family's safe and healthy, and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field, along with the first responders every day trying to save lives. Those also that pick up garbage, keep our places clean, and make deliveries for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women that are out here trying to help, rescue, deliver, and recover teenagers and children, victims of child molestation and pedophilia. People that are also victims of pornography, child pornography, prostitution, child prostitution, human trafficking, and sex slavery. Double curses on the perpetrators, the profiteers, and the perverts that create demands for these industries. And finally, blessings upon the homeless. More than 600,000 men, women, children, families, veterans, senior citizens, homeless in the US of A, and millions around the world in similar or worse conditions. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. So today, last week, I started dealing with the starters, but I missed one important starter, which I want to go through today. Probably one of the most important players on the Knicks is OG Anunoby. It's always a pleasure to look at a guy like this. And the reason is he's another guy that can be described as plug and play. Plug and play on probably the highest level. Because, okay, for Toronto last year won 25 games. When OG Anunoby played for Toronto, he was overall plus 11. Okay, he's a starter. He was overall plus 11. What does that mean for those of you who don't understand plus minus? Plus minus means that when he was on the floor, his team was 11 points better than the opponent while he's on the floor. Now, some people don't pay too much attention to plus minus, and I admit there are times when it doesn't matter. But when it's consistently plus, no matter what five a person's on the floor with, it means a lot. So Anunoby was plus 11 when he was on Toronto the first half of last year. When he gets to the Knicks, he's plus 22, okay, with the Knicks. He is a 15-point last year, 15 points per game, 49% from the field, 38% from three, 75% from the line. I mean, it's like, and that's pretty much, you look at his stats for his career, that's consistent. So he's consistently a positive when he's on the floor. He's consistently 14 points, 15 points a game. He's consistently 40-something% from the field and 38% from the line and 75%. 75% from the line, 38% from the three-point line. Consistent. So pretty much what that tells you is you know what you're going to get from him on the floor. He's going to be a positive on the floor. He's going to help your whole five improve. And his numbers are going to be pretty consistent. He's not going to be a 30-point per game scorer. He's not going to be a double-digit rebounder. What is his rebounder? I think he averages 4 rebounds a game. But he is going to be one of the top defenders in the NBA, period. During the course of a game, people say, well, people treat the NBA like it's high school, like you're going to guard this and this is what you're going to do for the whole game. What happens in the league is there's a lot of switching. And one of the reasons teams that are top defensive teams become top defensive teams is because with all the switching, because the reason there's a lot of switching in the NBA is because the goal is to create mismatches. And you only want the mismatches for about 5 seconds because that's all it takes for a top level offensive player, which are a lot in the NBA, to score on a person that can't guard them, okay? And so one of the reasons top teams defensively, like Tom Thibodeau's teams, are top teams is because you can go through all the switches you want. You're going to still end up being guarded by somebody that could lock you down. Okay? And that's what goes on. So when Jalen Brunson, every time the Knicks are playing, you're going to see, if you haven't noticed already, teams keep switching till they get Jalen Brunson into a compromised position defensively. But what the Knicks do, first of all, they keep him on players, that is Jalen Brunson, on players that are generally like your Reggie Bullock type, that are going to spot up somewhere. then those players are generally going to be running through a lot of screens to get them open. Brunson is good at running through the double teams and staying with his man in that regard. Once the guy gets the ball, if he's good off the dribble, Brunson's in trouble. But what happens in that scenario is the Knicks and Tom Thibodeau is a master at quickly getting a double team on that guy that Brunson is guarding to get the ball out their hands and everybody moving from their position. There's going to be one guy open, but you leave that guy that's open is the worst shooter usually, and then they'll quickly get back to everybody. They do it on a master level, especially. This is one of the reasons I appreciate Tom Thibodeau. OG Anunoby is master level class at doing that, number one. Number two is no matter what, you switch him onto a center, like an Embiid. He can guard Embiid for 5 to 10 seconds if he needs to and lock him down. See, you don't have to lock him down for 24 seconds. When somebody gets the ball, they only have about 5 seconds to make a move. Less than that, actually. So you want a guy like an Anunoby that could guard a 5 when he needs to, a 4 when he needs to, a 3, a 2, a 1. When you get a guy like this that can guard all 5 players on the floor, which is what you have with OG Anunoby, which is what you have with very few players in the NBA that can actually guard 5 positions. Okay, so again, you don't have to guard 5 positions for 20. It's not like you're going to start OG Anunoby at the center. Say, okay, guard this center, guard Joker for 48 minutes. It doesn't work like that. What you want is when a guy gets switched onto the Joker, he can hold his own for the 5 seconds that he's got to hold his own. Okay, it's not that easy. In fact, it's very difficult. But OG Anunoby can do that. Okay. 7-foot wingspan, he will guard anybody on the floor. Anybody, okay? And that's what you need. Again, most people think it's high school where you're going to guard the guy for 32 minutes and that's how you go. No. It's a lot of switching. Then, of course, there's a lot of substitutions. And so Thibodeau demands that his players understand all their opponents' tendencies, what they like to do, what they don't like to do, where they like to shoot the ball, where they don't like to shoot the ball, especially the opponents that you're going to be guarding. Okay? So when a guy like the Deuce comes out, he's expected to know the tendencies of every point guard or every guard, both 2 and 1, that he's going to be playing against, which he does, and understand what they like, what they don't like, how to guard them. Still, it's very difficult in the NBA to guard. These are the best players in the world. This is the league. So it's not that easy, but that's why these guys get the bucks. So OG Anunoby can guard 1 through 5 legit. Okay, he's a consistent 3-point shooter, 38% consistent. Okay, and he's even higher. He's 50% from the corners, where he gets a lot of looks in the New York offense with Jalen Brunson and Juju getting the ball where they get the ball. He gets a lot of looks like that. It's going to be crazy. So the key thing, though, the Achilles heel is keeping him on the floor, okay, because he's hurt a lot. That's the problem. So last year he played 50 games, right? He played 50 games last year. In his career, he started age 20, 2017 draft. He played 74 games. That's the high for his career, okay? After that, 67, 69, 43, 48, 67, 50, 27, 23. Well, 27 and 23 is 50. That's between New York and Toronto. And, of course, one of those years, there was, because of COVID, I believe it was 2019, 2020, there was only, 2020, 2021, there was only like 71 games, period. But even that year, he only played 43. See? So he's hard to keep him on the floor. That's the problem. He gets hurt a lot. Okay, now I noticed he pulls a lot of muscles because he's a heavily muscled guy. He's 6'7", full 240 pounds. He is a load for people to deal with when he's on the floor. He's a load to deal with. And the thing about him that I really like offensively more than anything is he moves without the ball and finds the right place to be on the floor so that when he gets the ball, he's in a good position to score. Okay, he's excellent at moving without the ball. So he hits open shots. He's classic 3-and-D, but to say that alone doesn't really describe him. He guards 5 guys on the floor. He hits the open shot. He moves without the basketball, which is when you're playing with Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle, who do a lot of ISO work. You want a guy that can move without the basketball and create opportunities where the opponent can't just double team your guy without facing consequences. He makes them pay when they do that, okay? and you pairing him with another 3-and-D guy that's a plug and play guy that can guard 5 positions on the floor guy, and Mikal Bridges, the Knicks are going to be amazing this year. And the thing is that even when OG is out, okay, you can put Mikal in at the 3, bring in DiVincenzo or bring in Hart, and you ain't skipping the beat defensively or offensively, okay? But OG is on another level. The plus minus of plus 22 with the Knicks, plus 10. I went back and looked at other years, plus 3, even in Toronto's worst years. This guy is consistently making the 4 on the floor with him better. He's consistent in that. And he's also, though, consistent at missing games. So this year, of course, we know he signed a $212 million deal and 5 years. So he's down with the Knicks. So now he's got to play 65 games, though, to get his full 212. You know, each year, there is $40 million, a lot of money. He's got to play 65 games. That's part of the deal. Okay? So this is how it's going to work. He is going to let Thibs know when he could go. That's how this is going to work. Thibs ain't going to just say, get out there and play 48 minutes. It ain't going to work like that. OG going to say, today I can give you 30. Or, you know what, I'm done for today. Or, you know what, it's a back-to-back, I want to take the day off today. And he will and should be able to do that because he wants to get his 65 games. It's still going to be up in the air, but if OG Anunoby can give the Knicks 65 games, okay, those plus-minus numbers are real. He averages 29 minutes a game in his career. I think that should be the number he gets this year. It should be 29 should be the number, okay? And no back-to-backs, if we can avoid them. And as we found out, the schedule's out. The Knicks only have 3 back-to-backs between opening of the season and January 1st. They only have 3. They got more in the second half of the season. We'll deal with that then. But the first half of the season, first 30 to 40 games, they only got 3, okay? So that's good. Guy like OG, this works to his benefit. He has days off to recover. He's still a young guy. He's 27. But again, he's very injury prone. But the key thing with this guy is like, you know, he's not a superstar. Like he's not an all NBA performer. He's all defense though. But he's all winning. And that's what we care about. Okay. And so the more we can keep him on the floor, the better. So we want to get him about 29, 28, 30 minutes a game. No matter, he's plug and play. So it almost doesn't matter what lineup you have with him. And you know, and I know, Tom Thibodeau is going to have lineups that are effective with this cat. And he's got all of these tools to work with. So OG is going to be positive in any lineup you put him in with the Knicks, especially in a 9-man rotation where you know any combination you want to put out there with him is going to be effective. It's going to be because he's just that type of player. But you don't want to overdo it because then he gets hurt. So you got to pick your spots, okay, with him. You got to pick your spots. Thibodeau knows that. Been around a long time. This is a pro coach. He knows what he's doing. So he's going to measure this. Now, OG wants to get his money and he wants to win. So he also is aware that while he's on the floor, the Knicks have a really good shot to beat anybody in the NBA. Anybody. And if he's off the floor because of injury, he hurts his team. He understands that. So now this is him in his prime. He wants to win that chip. He wants to prove the Toronto chip. Even though he didn't play a lot, he is a key piece in winning the chip. And bringing that to New York is going to be big time. So that's why he becomes a very, very important piece for the Knicks. I never doubted that they would re-sign him with all of the stupidness that came out because people want clicks. But I never doubted they would re-sign him. The number was surprising to me. The 5 years, $200 million was surprising to me. But I never doubted they would re-sign him because of the trade they made and because of how valuable he is and because what he wants also, which is what every player wants in the league. They want the bag, which he got, and they want a chip, which he got one of those, but he wants to prove he can get another one, okay, with a new team. And now he's going to get the chance. So this is going to be very exciting. Again, we just got to be careful. And this is the thing. The Knicks are, I don't know if there's another team in the league. Really. If y'all know, tell me. But sure, some of y'all will. But There's not another team in the league that could play Tatum and Brown the way Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby can. There's not another team in the league. These two guys are, of the highest level scorers in the toughest league in the world. That is Tatum and Brown. And you got two guys that can more than adequately guard them successfully. That's huge. That's big time. Okay. Then you add Mitch Robb to guarding KP. Yeah, this is gonna be all right. I think we'll be in good shape here. I think we are, So, and that's, you can't sell this, ain't no slouch, but that's the team we aiming for. That's the NBA champion. They coming with everybody back. They're gonna be all healthy except KP, of course. But we got to match up with them, and I like our chances. I love them. I love our chances against them. There's no other team that has the weapons that Boston has, at their disposal. And the Knicks, if the Knicks could guard the Celtics, which I'm telling you they can, with OG Anunoby healthy and Mikal Bridges and Mitchell Robinson, they could guard the Celtics. But they could guard anybody else. Anybody else. Okay? Anybody else could also get the lockdown. Okay? Catch the OG Mikal Bridges lockdown. And I don't care who it is. Okay? Pablo Banchero is that dude. But first of all, Precious could guard him. I like Precious against him much more. OG and Mikal. Let's get this done, yo. Let's get this done. We in good shape. So OG Anunoby, a key piece in this championship puzzle. He replaced RJ Barrett, who was a few years behind Mikal in terms of development. Now, I still believe RJ, is going to be Jimmy Butler 2.0. And I believe he started to show that actually last year. I believe he started to show it last year, but he'll show it more this year. But RJ is a scorer, very excellent team ball player. But OG is there. Defensively, there's no comparison. Defensively now. There's no comparison. OG is there. Okay? He's not like he needs to get there. OG just needs to stay on the court. See? So the Knicks traded RJ, who is an up-and-comer, to OG, a guy that's already there. See? RJ is 24. OG is 27. And that 3 years is a major difference in the league. Okay? And especially these two guys. OG just comes in and he's the championship piece that we needed. Then the Knicks got the nerve to add Mikal Bridges on top of that. We're in good shape here. We just got to keep, this guy's just got to stay healthy. If OG can play 65 games plus the playoffs, everybody wants to see New York. Nobody wants to see New York except us who are Knicks Nation. Y'all enjoy your Wednesday. So